Okay, we're up to Lamed Hey Amid Beis, but the Lamed Hey Amid Beis is a little easier sugya than what we've been involved with. The Mishnah had said, guys, these are Elu Nairish Sheshnam Knas, or we machadish that in the Mishnah Chayve Mrs. Bezdin would Chayve Lavin would have Knas, like a Mamza in the sin, and even Chayve Karis, Achoso, Asachoso, Chayve Karis would also have Knas. So the Mishnah along that lines, we bring in a brisa. We're gonna finish off, conclude. I'm gonna start the new Mishnah. There's Hashem. Tanabana. Arroyos, ushnias la arroyos, einlem kenas. Okay, now we'll see Bes Hashem. Hang in there. I don't want to hide the guy. Okay, go over here. He's hiding there. Over there. Right over here. Right. Okay, now. If I'd wake you up in the middle of the night, you would tell me Arroyos is Chayve Karis and the Shnias is something you want to forget. From your mama's fame, that famous Daf Yomi with all those things, right? Basically, your grandmother. Okay, anyway, so but we'll see Bes Hashem. Okay, so anyway, Arroyos Shnias Arroyos Ein Lem Knas. If a man violates them, there's no Knas. V'lei Pito, if a man talks them into it, there is no payment. Hamima NS, again, that we saw is a girl who was married off by her sister, by her brother or mother, and she can refuse the marriage up to her as long as she's a katana. Ein lo like knas. She doesn't have knas pasha because if she's married, she's probably a bula. She's been married, she's probably a bula. She's not a basula. And one of the tanoim, the conditions for honest is that the girl has to be a basula, just a basula. So that would be problematic. So and it's ein lehem knas. The pasha of seduction would apply to that as well. Islandess, we're familiar again from the Sechta Yavamis. An islandess is a woman who does not show, simani of a woman. Doesn't show simani of a woman. And we said up to 20 years old, she goes directly from being a katana to a boigeres. She has no naira stage. So she has no naira stage, no knas, because nairis is only by, according to Rabbi, the whole parsha of Kanas of Onis is only by a naira and not by a katana. So therefore, I only say like Kanas like Peter. So far, all these people are Roya, Shnias, We're going to go over the whole brisa fellas. My Enes and Islanders, none of these have Kanas and Peter. By Yotzim Mishum Shemra and Pashat, the parsha of Moitzi Shemra, a man is claiming that his wife did not have, that she was not a basula, and that she had been unlawful during the period of Erisin, which is Kedushin. So Ein Lo Kanas. The one is going to ask, forget about Kanash, he's a Baskila. A Naira Hamurasa, who's Mizana, is Chayv Skila. So L'chayra, the one is going to ask that question. Again, we're going, like Peter, we're going through the whole Brisa, and then we'll go ahead and explain the whole Brisa. Now we're going to start, let's start. Maya Royos Umashnias Larois. When it says Royos, it says Shnias Larois. What exactly does that mean? What exactly does that mean? In other words, we know one thing. They don't have kanas. That's what we know, but we don't know what they are. So you'd say, well, I know what they are. An erva is the chayve karis, or a chayve Mrs. Bezdin. And a shnia is the rabbanon dikachiev of, because of the gezerah, if you worry this up to this, you remember the chart. You can't find A, B, yeah. Okay, anyway. It says the Maya Royas Mashnis Arayas. Ilay Ma Arayas Amad Aleph, Arayas Mamish. If you can say Arayas Mamish means chayve karis, fellas. Arayas Mamish means chayve karis, and Shnias is Midivrei Seifrim, and that's the Rabbanon Dik Gezerah, Kivin the Midaraisa Chazia. Since Midaraisa, they're seen to you. Why not? Amai Ein Lem Kanas. In other words, if you take it in the literal way we understand it, I would think it's been a kanas. After all, a shnius la'royas is muta midivrei Torah. It's also midrabanan. So why midaraisa? If you're honest, one of them, why would you not pay a kanas? Why would you not pay a kanas? It doesn't make sense. Therefore, we're going to leave the norm and say shnius is not what we think they are. Shnius doesn't mean a second to aroyas. It means the following. Ella, aroyas is the most severe. Chayve Mrs. Bezdin. That's the most severe. Yeshlem Kanas. Excuse me. Chayve, what did I just say? Chayve Mrs. Bezdin. Shniyos Chayve Krisis. Ave Chayve Lam Yeshlem Gas. Meaning, guys, Shniyos over here does not mean the second of Erva. It means secondary in level. So the most severe chiyuv is Mrs. Bezdin. I'm giving you one. A man's with his daughter. That's a chiyuv Mrs. Bezdin. That's the next Mishnah. A man's with his sister is a chiyuv karis. So even though they're both deraisa, obviously karis is secondary in severity to what Mrs. Bezdin. So arais doesn't mean your grandmother. It doesn't mean one of your aunt, one of those sophisticated chayve midrabanan. It's a chiyuv deraisa, and you know what it is? It is chayve. It's chayve lavim. So now let's do the brisa, guys. Arayos, arayos chayve Mrs. Bezdin. 2 shniyos chayve lavim ein lem kanas. Mashma, did I say chayve lavim? Chayve krisis ein lem kanas. Not like our Mishnah, right? The Chunyi ben Akon, said, not like Chunyi ben Akon. Our Mishnah said what? Yesh lem kanas by chayve karis. So now, if we're fitting this in, so I take you back in time. Let's go back to the pasuk that deals with anonis. We said you have to be a basula, you have to be a naira, the loisia leisha, and you have to be able to marry. What does it mean you have to be able to marry? That we had machloikis between Shimon HaTeimani and Shimon HaMenasya. Shimon HaTeimani said it had to be that ru'uya. It had to be that yeshba havaya. It had to be that kedushin is typhus, even if you can't stay together. And if Shimon Menashe said no, loisi elisha means a woman you have to be able to stay together. That's from, again, it seems like a year ago. It's not that long ago. That was the interpretation of loisi elisha. Like Rav Shimon HaTeimani, kedushin's typhus. Like Rav Shimon HaMenasya, you have to be able to stay together. Nafkamina would be a mamzeres. Like Rav Shimon HaTeimani, there would be anusa by mamzeres, because even though you can't stay together, if you would marry her, you'd have to give a get. Versus Shimon ben Menashe said, no, you can't stay married to a mamzeres, and therefore there would not be a fine. There would not be if you're honest. Good. So now, if this brisa says the following, guys, let's do it outside. This brisa, let's fill it in. Arayos is chayv Mrs. Bezdin. Good. Shniyos is secondary to that. Chayve krisos. No kanas. Chayve lavim. Yes, kanas. That would only be according to Shimon HaTeimani, because like Shimon Menasya, even by chayve lavim you wouldn't have kanas because you can't stay together. Says the Gemara inside. This din of a chayve lavim yeshem kanas umani, and who's the Tana of the brisa? It's Shimon HaTeimani, who says that as long as you can stay together, as long as kedushin's typhus, yeshem kanas. Ikadi Amri, Arayos is guys, Chayve Mrs. Bezdin, the Chayve Krisos, and both. And Shniyos is Chayve Lavim. Okay, so guys, now let's watch the fingers now, guys. Right? Arayos means both. Arayos means 2, Mrs. Bezdin and Karis. Shniyos means Chayve Lavim. So if we're putting that in the equation of the Brisa, Ein Lem Kanas, that means there's no Kanas by Chayve Lavim, Misa. There's no Chayve by Chayve Lavim. There's no Knas even by Chayve Lavim. Who's the Tana of the Brisa? Shimon ben Menasya, who says since you can't stay together by Chayve Lavim, that's it. Now clearly not like our Mishnah. We're learning Pshat in the Brisa. Our Mishnah we said Machlokes, who the Mishnah was according to it. Again, our Mishnah is not like Clearly not like Manakana, because we said the Yesh Chiyav Karis that we say we don't say Kamle by Chiyav Karis. So again, 2 ways to explain the Brisa. Again, what's our Brisa saying? The Brisa says we're going through the Brisa. The first clause of the Brisa was Arayos Shniyos no Kanas. We're leaving the norm of saying Arayos is Karis and Shniyos are Derabanan, because Derabanan you would have Kanas. And we're saying that everything's Deraisa. What's Arayos? Chayve Karis, Chayve Misa. Yeah. What is Shniyos? Chayve Karis? No, Knas. Lavim, yes, Knas. That's not according to Shimon Menasya, only according to Shimon HaTeimani. Or the Pshat, Arayos, the double, both Misa and Karis, out, no Knas. Lavim, Shniyos, Lavim, it's secondary to those 2, out. Therefore, that would be according to Shimon ben Menasya, because like the Shimon HaTeimani, you would have Knas by what? By Chayve Lavim. Hama'enes, now the din of Ma'enes, Ein Lo Knas. Ma'enes doesn't have Knas again, V'lei Pita. Pashit, because why? She's a Ba'ula, she's not a Basula. So now, the ma'enes, guys, when me and who does me and guys? Katana.
Yeah.
So what's the inference? A ma'enes doesn't have kanas, but stama katana would have kanas. But we don't hold that way. What did our Mishnah say? Elu nairis sheishnam kanas. We said the Mishnah is not like the Chachamim, like Reb Meir. We had a machlokes early in the parak. Like Reb Meir, a naira has kanas and not a katana. Like the Chachamim, afilu katana. As long as you're above 3 years old, where your bia is a bia, there's kanas until you're naira. Says the Gemara. Meme'enes eila kanas v'lei pitoi. Ha katana. Let's make the inference. But if it's a katana, the alma. Islay, you do have kanas. Now money, Rabbanon, because like Reb Meir, guys, there is no kanas by a katana. So the inference to this brisa is, right? The inference to this brisa is, it must be Rabbanon, who all this by, there's a din of kanas by a katana. Now, the Amri Katana Yeshim Kanas, Ema Seifel, the guy's the safe of the brisa. What is saying the safe of the brisa? Islandis, Ein Law, Islandis, Ein Law, Loy Kanas, Loy Pitoi. Islandis has nothing. No, not nothing. Now, also Reb Meir. It comes out according to Reb Meir the Omar, Kitana ein lo kanas. V'ha mikatnusa yotza lebager. And she goes what? From a katnus to being a bagger. So meaning there is no nairis. Guys, why does an islandess not have kanas? Of course, why? There's never a state of nairis. She's a katana until she's a bageres. There's no state. Like the Chachamim, an islandess should have. Why? Because she's a katana. So there must be who holds an islandess doesn't have. Must be Reb Meir because she's never a naira. Got a problem, guys. What's the problem? We don't have uniformity. Reish Rabbanan v'sefer Reb Meir. Again, we know by now we want uniformity. Says the Gemara, v'chitema. What are you going to say? Hula Reb Meir. You're going to say the whole thing is Reb Meir. So now it's shver the Reisha ubima enes savalok Reb Yehuda. And regarding Reb Enes savalok Reb Yehuda, we are linking in the following. We assume the following, that we have a din of by an anus, by violation, katana, no katana. The only one who can do miyun is a katana, but not a naira. What happens if you could find someone that says a naira could do miyun? Then everything would be hunky dory according to Reb Meir. Islandess, since it's a katana, out of the ballpark. Mima enes is out of the ballpark. She's the beula. But even if she is a naira, mima enes, she's out of the ballpark. But it could be a naira, and the diak would be taima de mima enes. But if she's not mima enes, but she's a naira, yeshlam kanas. Again, the diak is that only a katana can do it. What happens if I can redaik a naira can do it? Then the whole brisa will be according to Reb Meir, guys. Who holds a naira can do miyun? Reb Yehuda. So maybe Reb Meir holds like Reb Yehuda by miyun. If we would hold like Reb Yehuda by miyun, then if we say in Yiddish, alles stimmt. It all goes ahead and comes together beautifully. The ma'enes, she can't do. There's no parsha of anusa because she's probably not a basula. Mashma, a girl similar to her in the same situation would be. Who would that be? A naira. You know why? Because he holds like Reb Yehuda. That night, there's din of miyan not only limits by katana, it even extends to what? 12 in a day. From 12 in a day to 12 in 6 months. It extends to then. So therefore, maybe the whole brisa is according to Reb Meir. Regarding my NS, Savalak Reb Yehuda, who holds a naira can do miyon. For the Gemara, you can't possibly say that. Umi Savala, does he really hold like that, like Rebbe Yehuda? But Tanya, Admatai Habasma Enes, up until when can a bas do mion? Up until when? Ad Shetavi Shtei Sarais, until she brings Shtei Sarais. This is again, it's an arbitrary number. We hold 12 in a day. That by 12 in a day, a woman will bring 2 Sarais. Rabbi Yehuda says no, a later time. Rabbi Yehuda Ad Sheyarba a Shachar Alalavan. You're able to, we're getting without nitty gritty until the area of the pubic area is more black, it's darkened. It's a later time than 12 in a day. So in other words, now when you see Reb Meir is arguing Reb Yehuda, obviously doesn't know like Reb Yehuda. So therefore, who can't? So obviously the Tana of this brisa can't be what Reb Meir, the whole brisa because of Ma'anes. It can't be like the Rabbanan because of because of the islandness. El Rabbi Yehuda, it's Rabbi Yehuda. Now, in other words, Upikatana Savla Kremeya. In other words, let's go the other way. Let's go the other way. By islandness, right? By islandness, he holds like Kremeya. That what? That there's no parsha of anusa by a katana. So an islandness is always a katana. There's no anusa. Good. What about the Resha by Me'enes? Rabbi Yehuda says Me'enes is a naira, right? So the reason why this Me'enes can't do it is because she was a married woman. Mashma, same woman of the same age, the same ilk that wasn't Ma'ayin. There would be a parsha of anus. Who's that? A naira. So the whole thing goes according. That'd be very good. That'd be very good. No, we have a consistency. We wanted to make a Reb Meir that doesn't work. We want Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Yehuda is the Tan of the Brisa. It would work well. He holds like Reb Meir by what? By onus, that only a naira, not a katana. An islandess who's clearly a katana doesn't work. So therefore, there's no kanas. I am a enes. There's no kanas because she's my enes. But let's say she wasn't an enes. Let's say she was a naira, because Rabbi Yehuda holds a naira could do miyun. Then there would be a kanas. So very gshrak. So therefore, let's say this comes out according to Rabbi Yehuda. Says the Gemara. Nah, well, 1 second, that doesn't work either. El Rabbi Yehudi, but kind of sovla Reb Meir. Right, the Gemara misavala. The whole Reb Meir le'inyan mat le'inyan anus. From Rabbi Yehuda Amarav, Su de Reb Meir. These are the words of Reb Meir. Guys, it says any place we're going to see a Mishnah Daf Mem. Guys, what's the rule of thumb? Anytime there's necher, anytime the father can sell his daughter, then ein lahem kanas. Anytime the father can't sell his daughter, right, then there is kanas. When can a father sell his daughter? When she's a katana. He can sell no. So what's the rule of thumb? If I can sell her as to sell her, she's a katana. Then there's no kanas. If I can't sell her because she's a naira, then yesh no kanas. Zudiv Reb Meir. Now, if Rabbi Yehuda agreed with Reb Meir regarding the din of naira, yeah, it should say Zudiv Reb Meir Reb Yehuda. And it doesn't. So we struck out there too. Okay, says Gemara. From Rabbi Yehuda Rav Zudiv Reb Meir. Now, and if he holds like Rabbi, guys, if he holds like Rabbi Meir by Indian Naira, Zudiv Reb Meir Rabbi Yehuda. We boil the Mishnah should have said these are the words of Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. So who is the Tan of this brisa? Who says a miyun katana could do a regular katana could do miyun, a regular katana could do miyun, a man it's not. Islanders can't. Who is that? Haitana Savak Rabbi Meir b'chada upol b'chada. You know, whoever the Tana is, we don't know his name, but whoever he is, he agrees with Rabbi Meir in one thing. He agrees regarding a katana, Elam Kanas, and therefore an islandist doesn't have kanas, because an islandist is always a katana. And he disagrees regarding a violation of honest. The honest, the parsha is not limited to naira. It extends to what? To katana. He's a hybrid. He holds like Reb Meir in one, he holds like Reb one in the other. This Tana is a hybrid. Regarding the age of what? Of anusa, katana, regarding the din of anusa, he holds like a katana. Regarding the din of miyun, he holds like Reb Yehuda, not like the Rabban. I said Reb Yehuda. He holds like Reb Yehuda. That what? That the din of miyun extends to naira, and very good. The reason why naira can't do it because she was married. If she wasn't married, then there would be what? A parsha of honest. Okay, that's the din. That's one teretz. Rafa Mama Maima Enes. You know what Enes means? It doesn't mean someone who could do miyun. It means haroy l'moyin, someone who possibly could do miyun. In other words, don't make a diak, but someone who didn't do miyun. It means someone who is right to do miyun, right? Someone is right. Look at Rashi. Someone is right to do miyun. Says Rashi. Maimah enes kloimar kol kitana kamar. You know what ma'enes means? It doesn't mean mima enes. It means someone who could do miyun. What was a diak? Mima enes, yeah, but someone who is not mima enes, right? Our diak was the following: a girl who gave miyun, she can't get kanas, she's a bula. Mashma, a girl in a similar situation would get kanas, a katana. No. Don't learn mima enes, one who actually did miyun. Learn anyone who possibly could perform miyun. Who is anyone who could perform miyun? A katana. Then it comes out clearly everything is according to Reb Meir. Mima enes doesn't mean one who actually did it. Anyone who possibly could do it. Who is that? A katana. Ein lam kanas. That's Reb Meir. Islandist. Ein lam kanas. That's Reb Meir. And Rafram says the whole thing comes out according to Reb Meir, instead of a hybrid between Reb Meir and Reb Yehuda. Okay, going now back over the what? I skipped. Velisni katana. So why didn't you learn the word katana? It says the word kasha. And nothing I mean, that's a kasha.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If you're speaking, why speak cryptically? I mean, why not? It's Gemara. why? All of a sudden, the Gemara is not speaking cryptically, right? In other words, I guess spell it out, because you mean you only tell me one person, right? If you only tell me one person, katana, why are you saying Roy? Just say it. Kasha. When the Gemara says kasha, mishtamish from a kasha, it's to it. It's not to you. Okay, anyway. Islandist ain't look kanas v'lei pitui. So you tell me an islandist does not have kanas v'lei pitui, she's out of the ballpark completely. Urimini, I'll ask you a stira. Hachareshes v'hashoita v'islandist, a mute, a deranged islandist, yeshlem kanas. There's your stira and islandist. Here we say an islandist has kanas. The yeshlem tainis besulim, and the husband who lives with them and does not find besulim would have a taina of mekach tois. V'ha my rumya, what's your stira? Harameya harabonan. Guys, it's not a problem. When the islandist doesn't have kanas, who is that? That's a meya, katana. Islandist does have kanas, who is that? Chachamim. Chachamim said, right? An islandist is equal to a katana, right? An islandist is equal to a katana. Chachamim say so. Such a rumya, such a stira. We can't find anything in a secunda. We can answer in a second. Says the Gemara with the karila, my karila. In other words, this is too easy for the Gemara, guys. This was as we say in the vernacular, this was a layup. This was a layup. In other words, you didn't need me. Any one of us could have given this teretz. So what? My karila, what's the Gemara thinking? Big stira. So listen to this. No, the MS we want to be asked the stira. But this stira is based upon something else. In other words, we brought this in because we had to bring in another stira. Not because of the islandist part, guys, but because of the chareshes and shaita part. We wanted to ask something else on it. Hachareshes v'hashoita v'haboigeres umukas eitz. All these chareshes, shaita, boigeres, 12 and 6 months. Mukas eitz, she's hit oisli makam with a beam. Ein lahem tainis besulim. Then the husband can't claim mekach tois, because all these cases will figure, even by geras, by that time it's gonna mashma that it grows apart the besulim. Hasuma va'islandist yeshlem tainis besulim. However, a suma, if you marry a suma or an islandist, and then you could have tainis besulim. So the first case you can, this one you could. So the you have a stira, right? In one case you say that what that chareshes v'shoita v'geres mukasei eilem besulim, and then the other place you say what a chareshes and a shoita eilem tainis besulim. What's the first lashon? Chareshes shoita v'leimus yeshlem. Guys, the first brisa charesh shoita v'leimus yeshlem kanas. Second brisa charesh v'shoita. So in other words, we brought in the first brisa for the second kasha, because now you don't have the ma'ikari or you don't have the distinction between the by katana. We don't say one is speaking by katana, one not like katana. So now, what's the difference? Says the Gemara will tell you the difference. Let's go back to Reb Meir, Reb Gamliel. Going back to the first parak, a man gets married, tells us, I don't find basulim, he's believed. She says, what? I was a basula when you married me, and I was violated. She's believed Bari V'Shema Bari Yadav. He doesn't know for sure. Bari V'Shema Bari Yadav. Right? That was Reb Gamliel. Said Rabbi Yeshua, Loi Mipia Anuchayim. We don't live from her mouth. So very good. Loi Kasha. Ha Rabbi Gamliel. Ha Rabbi Yeshua. In other words, the brisa that says that Ein Lam Tainis Besulim, but a Cheresh V'Shoita, Ein Lam Tainis Besulim. That's Rabbi Gamliel. Because she can taina what? When I got married, I was a basula, and then something happened to me. I was violated. The Rabbi Yeshua, and the one that claims that he could have tainis basulim is Rabbi Yeshua. We don't believe you. We don't. Okay. Now here's the problem, guys. A cherish and a shaita, they're not saying anything. They could say, but they're not. Says the Gemara, when do we hear Rabbi Gamliel telling the truth? That's Heichad de Kataini, right? That's when she comes with that taina. Ihi. But Heichad like Chataina Ihi, where they don't kind of very straight, they're not saying that Mishamalei. So why would you say that like that Ein Lem Talis Psulim? Says we're in. Kim Damar Gamliel Mehimna. Since Rabbi Gamliel said they would be believed, going Zu in this case, Pasach Pich. It's a lashon of what? Make sure I say the right words. In this case, what would we say? Psach Picha Le'ilemhu. Right? We would go ahead and open the mouth to the mute. In other words, Bezdin will tie into this. Bezdin will tie into that. But in certain cases where, they can't make for whatever reason, they can't make the claim, we'll make the claim for them. So we have, guys, you have a stira. Cheresh v'shoita, ein lem tanis psulim, you can't make a tanis or gamliel. He doesn't have tanis psulim. Why? Because if he says you're not a basula, she'll claim, or Bezdin will claim, when we got married, I was a basula, and I was violated. And the one that says, yesh la tanis psulim, that's Rabbi Yeshua. Let me pee on the claim, we don't believe you. Very geschmack. Okay, now, along the lines, we just said a Baigeres does not have a tanis psulim, meaning the guy can't claim she wasn't a basula by a Baigeres. A Baigeres is a girl of 12 and 6 months. So you tell me he's no pasulim. Freding Marakasha. Now we know midiraisa dam pasulim amuta. In other words, a man loses his wife the first night. We don't know like this, but the first night he can be boiled many times because any dam that comes from the first night is only dam pasulim, not dam nida. Right? So on the raisa level. So if you're telling me a Baigeres, ein lem tanis pasulim, then you should not have the first night. There shouldn't be any shaila about dam because ein letanis pasulim is mashman. There's no blood. Freding Marakasha. By Geres ein letanis pasulim v'amarav by Geres noisin lo laila rishain. The Geres will give the whole first night. Guys, what does it mean? We'll give the first night, and any dam that she sees will say is dam pasulim. But 1 second, you just told me she doesn't have dam, and now you tell me you're giving the whole first night. You see, she does have dam. Amid Beis says either katoyin tainis damim hachanami. No. When we said ein la tainus pasulim, we don't mean what the tain of no dam. Okay, now we're all experts, guys. Right? The first parak, there were 2 tainus that. Guys, let's go outside. Look at me. We begin the Masechta. A woman gets married on a Wednesday. Why does she get married on Wednesday? And yeshla tainus pasulim should come to Bezdin on Thursday. What's the possible time that he could have? 1 or 2 tainus. 1. Didn't find Basulim, or 2, Pesach B'Satzi, I found what? It was open. So over here, we thought that the taina was, I didn't find dam. That's not true. You see that by Geras there is dam. No, when it says, Ein la taina means, Ein la taina Pesach B'Suach, Pirish. When a girl is a Basula, the canal is tighter. When she's a Geras, it opens up more. So if you open up more and you're going to taina what? Pesach B'Suach Mitzasi, we won't believe you. We don't, there's no time of pasulim, meaning there's no time of Pesach Pesul by Geres because the vaginal canal will have expanded. That's the hesber according to Rashi. Sumcha said in the previous brisa, Sumcha said Mishum Reb Meir, Suma ein la tainus pasulim. A suma, in other words, if you marry a suma, there's no tainus pasulim. You can't say that she was mekach tois. You get what you get. Why would a suma? What does she have to do? In the physical part, has nothing to do. The fact that she's a psula and the fact that she's a suma, l'chayra, she's mine. Yeah, suma means she's mine and kas. Says the Gemara now. My time of the sum because that is suma that you don't have time as psulim. She falls down. Ken Zayin, she fell down and she broke up a sulim. Says the Gemara, so kulinami chabuti mechap. In other words, the figure is that a suma who doesn't see well is more apt to fall. Says, well, all the girls fall as well. In other words, they're little kids, they fall. So beyond 3 years old, they fall. So why limit, if this is your concern, why limit it to a summa, extend it to all girls? Says, no. Kula rois umaris le'imanzu. In other words, if they go ahead and they fall and they see blood, they're going to tell their mother. And the mother is going to be up and above board about that. And therefore you can't have mechas tois. So ain't a roya. But well, I just missed. Kula roya sumaris liman. Zu asuma ain't a roya. Ain't a mara liman. In other words, she's blind. So if she falls, she doesn't know. So it says Sumcha, since she doesn't know, you can't have time to pursue. And in fact, if you might see a girl, Mishum Shemra, meaning you got married and you say that you didn't find time to psulim, then what? There's no kanas. Further Gemara, no kanas. What are you talking about? She's a Naimurasa. She's Misa. Some of Sheish the Hachi come on. Misha Yatzala Shemra Bialdusa. It's not speaking about Moitzi Shemra when you married her. It's speaking about that this girl had a reputation when she was younger, that she was not a basula, that she had been involved. So Misha Yeshala Shemra Bialdusa Ein La Like Knas Like Pitoy. Okay. In other words, we're going to believe that rumor at an early age. So notice if you marry her, you can't have Tainus Basulim. Amra Papa, Shmamina, what do we see from here? Now let's sushtel, fellas. This taina of room is of being not being atznuah to another monetary matter. Hai shtara reya, this star that we say is a forgery. Loimak binambe, you can't collect with the star. Now hekidami, ilemid nafik kolola, the star is the zaifahu. If a rumor goes out, this star is a forgery. And what would the corollary case be by the girl? The kavase hacha the nafakala kola diznoi, and the corollary would be like over here that a coil went out that she was mizana, right? Good corollary. This star is no good. The girl's no good. The star is a forgery. The girl's not a virgin. But amarava yotzala shem mizana be'er. If just the shame goes out mizana be'er, ain't chayshin law. No, it's not talking about Adam, guys. It's just talking about a coil. No, it's not Adam saying vadai. It's a coil without. We're not chayish for this coil. So that can't be the case where you won't be able to collect with the star. Ella must be the Yasabay tray. You got Adam. Two Adam came and they said the following. V'amri, listen what they said. Lididhu tabesinu bisura. She went ahead and invited us. She invited us visnus, and we declined. She invited us visnus, and we declined. The kavase hacha, the Yasabay tray v'amri. They did who Amalahu Zaifuli, that a guy came over to me and said, forge a star. In other words, no, that would be the corollary case. So in that case, they would be believed the Adim. In this case, we'd believe them as well. Good. So again, that would be a good sushla, right? Right. You have over there. She came forward and said she propositioned these two men. They didn't take her up on a proposition. Would be the same thing as a guy coming along and propositioning two people to go ahead and make a forgery. So just like over there will be choshid of his nus, so too over here will choshid the star for being a forgery. Says no, 1 second. There's a big difference. If a girl makes a proposition to a man, there are many men who would take her up on him because they're men who are prutzim. But if this guy is muksik as a liar, call Yisrael mi huksku. In other words, you're going to have to find two people who are going to forge. In other words, there's a taiva for his nus, but there's no taiva to be a forger. So it's not a good corollary. You want to correlate what? You want to correlate a din in a shtar mezuyif in a counterfeit document. You want to tzushtel to a woman regarding illicit relations. So you're going to tell me it's speaking where she propositioned them, and therefore he propositioned them to make a shtar. 1 second. By her propositioning, she'll find someone to go ahead and take her up on it, but not by forgery. Doesn't know. Even the Kamahadar as the Yufa, since this guy is, you see him going after forgers, Amor Zayufi Zaifi Kusav. You know what we'll say? He himself forged it. In other words, you're right. He wouldn't find a fellow to do it, but since we see this guy is willing to go ahead and looking for people to go ahead and do this, he would go ahead. He would go ahead and do it. So this is the end of our first parak, guys. The case of what of Elinar Sheshlam Kanas. We machadish chayve lavim. We machadish what chayve krisus. And we don't say kamle ben Rabbi. This Mishnah is the exact correlate. It's the exact opposite. This is the case of that they don't have kanas. This is the case they don't have kanas. So elu the Chavos. The elu she'elam kanas. Habal giyoris yala shavuya yala shifcha sheniftu ushniskayu. We had all these cases in the first case ushnishtakaru, but in the first case, guys, they were all pchusa mibashal shanim. So if she had done something, the basulim would grow back. Over here, Yiseris albano shalasham, they're more than 3 v'yar nefad. All these girls are cheskas be'ula. And therefore what? Therefore, einem kanas. Rabbi Yehuda Aimer, shvuya sheniftis harihi b'kedushasa. A shvuya that's redeemed, she is still a state of kedusha, and there would be a kanas. So he disagrees with the Tanakama. And afal pisha gedayla. Next case, Habala Bitoy, someone's with his daughter, Al Bas Bitoy, the daughter of his daughter, Al Bas Bino, the daughter of his son, his granddaughter. Al Bas Ishto, his stepdaughter. Al Bas Bino, Al Bas Pita. Ein Lem Kanas. You know why? In all these cases, you chayiv misa. Shemisas b'dei bezdin. V'chol ha-mischayiv b'nafshoy. Ein mishalim mamin. Why? Because we say Chomlei b'derabba minei. Shnemar v'im lo yiyeh asayin. If there is no asan to the woman, then you pay. But if there is asan to the woman when two people are fighting and she dies, then you don't pay. Again, clearly, the Kedeish or Chaim Zvar Kedeish Asay, right? Shemisha Achas At Mechayiv Yitam Chaim Shtei Rishoy is speaking in Mamin, and this is the possibly being the Inyan Misa. Okay, so now Rabbi Yehuda said what? That by Shvuya she still begether of a Besula, right? He disagreed. He said a Besula, a Shvuya is still a Besula. Shvuya. Now, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Doisa, Amudav Rechad. Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Doisa, they say the same thing. Rabbi Yehuda had Amaran, that we say over here that she still will get Kanas. Rabbi Doisa, the Tanya, Shvuya Echelis B'Truma. Rabbi Doisa. Guys, going back to Masechta Yevamis, Perika Oral, right? Now we know that a girl who's a Baskoyan, she eats Truma. However, if she's Mizana, she now is a Chalala, with a Goyita, right? So she's a Chalala. If she's a Chalala, she does not eat. When Rabbi Doisa holds a Shvuya eats Truma, must be that she didn't have relations. So he holds the exact same thing as Rabbi Yehuda that she has Kanas. In other words, it's two ways of saying the same thing. They're both Basulas. You're saying the same thing. The ramifications of two areas of halacha. One in the Kanas and one in Chilish Truma. But you're both saying the same thing. You're saying it's why it's Basula. Says the Gemara. Amr Rav Doisa, Arve halaz. Just this Arab, he pushed up against her. Meaning, Rabbi Doisa is saying, what are you talking about? Like, he didn't do anything. You fooled around with her, but he didn't do anything. Doisa brings why you pick an Arab, because the Gemara Kedushin says that there were 10 kavim of snus given to the world, and the Arab took 9 of them. Okay, so for some reason, everyone knows that Gemara. Yeah. Right? There's a Gemara in Kedushin that says like there's 10 layers of, for example, 10 midas of dibur given to the world, and women took 9 of them. We all agree with that, right? Don't show this to your wife. Now, next, 10 levels of snus in the world, and 9 were taken by the Arabs. It's a very famous verse from Rav Hutner. If you ever hear Arabic music, it sounds like they're crying. They're crying. Why are they crying? Because they didn't get the 10th. That's what Hutner is. Rav Hutner's famous verse. They missed out on one. Anyway. So in other words, so Rav Doisa is saying the same thing. She's still a Basula. There's no Amar Rabba, no. Dilma loy Pasmanakuna. Amar Rabba. Dilma loyhi. Maybe it's not true. Or Amar Rava. Maybe it's not true. Ad kan like Rabbi Yehuda Hacha that by Shvuya will say she's a Basula. Ela shlayei chayt nischar. What's this guy going to do? He's going to be honest this girl and get off the hook. In other words, he didn't care if she's a Basula or not. He's a low life. The guy was honest. He violated a girl. Guess what? We don't care what she is. He's going to pay the price. Aval Hassam Kirabanis over there by an actual shvuya when it comes to eating truma, where there's no inyan of chayt and nischar, then what? Ein achanami, he'll give to Rabbanan that she doesn't eat truma. Inami, or else the other way. Adkan like Rabbi Doisa Hasan Ela b'truma d'Rabbanan. Where is he makel but truma d'Rabbanan? Aval Kanas d'Raisa Kirabanis Rirle. But Kanas was d'Raisa. Maybe it was like the Chachamim that the shvuya is not a besula and there won't be a Kanas. Only about the time Rabbi Yehuda Hacha Shlei Chayt and nischar is the reasoning Rabbi Yehuda is that what? That the chayta shouldn't be niskar. In other words, really, she is not a basula. But guess what? We don't want the guy to get away with it. No. But Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer, shvuya shinis space, a shvuya that's captured, haribit ushasai, afilu bas esa shanim ksubasa Messiah, and even she's about 12 years old, bas esa shnai, what? Esa shnai, esa shanim, even she's esa shanim ksubasa Messiah, even she's 10 years old, ksubas Messiah. There's no chayt in nischar over there. He just says clearly a shvuya. No, there's no act of violation. That what she's a basula. Even 10 years she's a basula. So you see that what that has nothing to do with chayt in nischar. So someone no. Chayt in nischar ikar hasam nami says hasam nami dilma mimane v'le masv'le. Right. Pirish. We want this girl to get married quickly. If she's a basula, she'll get married quickly. So in other words, maybe there's a svar chayt in nischar where chayt is nischar. Over here, guess what? We just wanted to get married. So therefore, since we want to get married, we'll say that she is still a basula. Read the Gemara, the suburb of Yehuda, the Kedusha Kaima of Atanya, Apoidus Ashvuya Yisa. Okay, we'll stop over here. Bez Hashem. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay, it'll be in the afternoon tomorrow. Bez Hashem.